1. Silence the inner critic. There's a war that wages inside every human being, a silent battle between the person you are and the person you want to become. And often, the loudest voice trying to stop your progress doesn't belong to the world. It doesn't belong to your enemies. It belongs to you. That voice in your head, the inner critic, is often more vicious than any external opposition you'll ever face. You know the one. It tells you you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not talented enough. It's the voice that whispers, "Why even try?" when you're about to make a change. It's the part of you that remembers every past failure, every embarrassment, every doubt, and replays them like a highlight reel in your mind, right before you take a leap of faith. The inner critic is relentless. It knows your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, and it uses them against you. It's the part of you that's addicted to your comfort zone, terrified of the unknown, and desperate to keep you small, stuck, and safe. But here's the truth: that voice is not you. It's just a pattern, a mental reflex, built from years of doubt, trauma, comparison, failure, and unmet expectations. It's the leftover software of old stories you've told yourself or been told by others. Maybe someone said you'd never be great. Maybe you failed once and never let it go. Maybe you were conditioned to believe you're always falling short. But none of that is permanent. You can change the narrative. Silencing the inner critic isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about confronting that voice, challenging it, and reprogramming it. It's about recognizing that just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. The mind is a powerful machine, but without direction, it can easily become your worst enemy. So how do you silence it? Step 1. Identify the voice. Become aware of what your inner critic actually says. Is it, "I'm not good enough"? Is it, "People will laugh at me, I'll probably fail"? Write these statements down. Awareness is the first weapon in this war. You can't defeat what you don't see. Catch yourself when you're thinking in extremes, like always, never, or can't. These thoughts aren't truth, they're distortions. Step 2. Question the narrative. Ask yourself, is this voice based on truth or fear? What's the evidence? Most inner criticism has no logic, only fear. For example, if the voice says, "I always mess things up," challenge it. Always? What about that time you succeeded? What about when people praised you, supported you, believed in you? Your inner critic selectively forgets your victories. Don't let it. Step 3. Speak to yourself like someone you love. If your best friend came to you filled with doubt, would you call them a failure? Would you say they're worthless? Of course not. You'd encourage them. You'd remind them of their strength. You'd remind them how far they've come. Why don't you speak that way to yourself? Self-compassion isn't weakness, it's power. Talk to yourself like someone who deserves to win, because you do. Step 4. Rewire with repetition. The same way you trained your mind to be critical, you can retrain it to be confident. Daily affirmations, gratitude journaling, and visualization are powerful tools. Say it out loud: "I am capable. I am worthy. I am growing stronger every day." You don't believe it yet. Good, say it until you do. Say it until that new voice is louder than the old one. Affirmations aren't magic, they're mental training. And just like the gym, results come through consistency. Step 5. Stack the wins. Every time you take action despite fear, you weaken the inner critic. Every time you prove it wrong, even in small ways, you gain power. Start small. Make your bed. Finish the workout. Apply for that job. Record that video. Publish that post. Win the tiny battles, and soon you'll trust yourself again. Your inner critic is loudest when you're doing nothing, but it begins to lose its grip the moment you move. Step 6. Protect your mind. What you consume fuels the voice in your head. If you surround yourself with negativity, comparison, and pessimism, your inner critic will feast on that energy. Clean your mental environment. Unfollow toxic accounts. Block out negative people. Read uplifting books. Listen to people who have walked through the fire and came out stronger. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Step 7. Know you're not alone. Every great achiever, every leader, every athlete, every artist has battled the inner critic. The difference, they didn't let it win. They didn't let that voice decide their fate. They stood up, stared it down, and kept going anyway. You don't need to eliminate fear. You just need to move forward in spite of it. The victory is internal first before you win the external battles, the money, the career, the fitness, the recognition. You must win the battle within. Because if you don't, no amount of success will ever feel like enough. Your critic will just find new ways to scream, you still don't measure up. Silencing the inner critic isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. Some days it'll whisper, some days it'll roar. But every day, you get to choose which voice you believe, the one that holds you back, or the one that lifts you forward. So the next time your inner voice says, "You can't do this," look it in the eye and say, "Watch me." 2. Discipline over mood. There's a dangerous lie most people live by. I'll do it when I feel like it. But here's the hard truth, you'll never feel like it. Not consistently, not daily, not when it's hard, and especially not when it matters most. This is where the real war begins, not with your enemies, not with your circumstances, but with your emotions. The battle is between your fleeting moods and your long-term mission, between what's easy now and what you want most. That's why to win in life, in purpose and in progress, you must learn one critical discipline: stop listening to your feelings and start obeying your goals. Let's be real, feelings are unreliable. One minute you're motivated, the next you're drained, sometimes you're confident. Other times, self-doubt drowns you. Some days you feel invincible, other days you can't even get out of bed. That's life, but discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up anyway. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about freedom, the freedom to choose your path instead of being pulled around by your impulses. The freedom to create momentum when motivation is nowhere in sight. The freedom to wake up in control instead of being a slave to emotion. Why discipline beats motivation? Motivation is like a spark, short-lived and unpredictable. It comes and goes. It's nice when it's there, but useless when it's not. Discipline, however, is like firewood, structured, reliable, and steady. It keeps the fire burning when the winds of doubt and fatigue try to blow it out. Successful people aren't always more talented. They're more disciplined. They train when they're tired. They work when they're uninspired. They rise when they fall. They act according to principle, not preference. Discipline starts with small decisions. You don't wake up one day and become a disciplined person. It starts small. It's in the tiny decisions you make when no one's watching. Waking up with the alarm instead of snoozing it. Finishing the workout when your body begs you to quit. Choosing water over soda. Sitting down to study when your friends are out partying. Showing up on a rainy Monday when your mind screams stay in bed. These moments build mental toughness. And each time you follow through, you reinforce a simple message to your brain: I don't need to feel ready, I just need to begin. Kill excuses. Build identity. Every excuse you make chips away at your potential. I'm too tired, I'm not in the mood, it's just one day. That's not just laziness, that's a choice to stay average. And average isn't where greatness lives. Here's a better approach. Tie your identity to discipline. Tell yourself, I'm the kind of person who finishes what I start. I train even when I don't want to. I do hard things because I'm building a strong mind. Your identity becomes your anchor. And once your actions align with that identity, discipline becomes second nature. Build rituals, not routines. Routines are tasks on a to-do list. But rituals are sacred. They mean something. Start turning your daily disciplines into meaningful rituals. The 6 a.m. run becomes your war cry. The journal becomes your mental reset. The cold shower becomes your courage training. The daily reading becomes your wisdom hour. When something becomes a ritual, it becomes part of who you are. It's no longer a chore, it's a standard. And when your life is run by standards instead of feelings, you become unstoppable. Focus on the long game. Your feelings want comfort now. Discipline wants greatness later. It's a clash of timelines. Discipline is sacrificing temporary ease for permanent elevation. It's choosing to suffer a little now so you can win a lot later. It's trading the high of the moment for the legacy of a lifetime. When you skip the gym, you feel better for an hour. When you go despite the exhaustion, you feel proud for a week. When you put off your dream, you get relief for a day. When you chase it with fire, you gain purpose for a lifetime. Ask yourself, what would my future self thank me for? Then act accordingly. Guard your mind like a fortress. Discipline isn't just about doing, it's about thinking right. The CLUTTERED, applause with distractions, drama, and doubt. Just you and the Drea. Here's how to fortify your discipline. Protect your environment. Avoid people who drain your energy. Use triggers, set alarms, place reminders, stack habits, celebrate wins, reward consistency, not perfection. Cut temptations, delete distractions before they delete your progress. If you want to win the war within, you have to train like a warrior. And that starts by treating your mind like a battlefield and showing up every day to conquer it. Discipline is love in disguise. People think discipline is harsh. But the truth is, discipline is self-love. It's loving yourself enough to do what's hard so your future is easy. It's refusing to let yourself settle for comfort when you were made for greatness. It's holding yourself to a higher standard, not because you hate who you are, but because you believe in who you can become. Discipline doesn't shrink you, it frees you. It gives you the power to rise above moods, circumstances, and excuses. Into any not storm with Tatarka confidence today. I don't need to feel ready. I'm built for this. Final words, train until it's instinct. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's forged, it's earned, and it's one day, one rep, one choice at a time. Every day you show up, you're building a mental fortress. Every time you act without motivation, you're sharpening your blade. So the next time you say, I don't feel like it, catch yourself. Smile and do it anyway. That's how warriors are made. That's how the war is won. 3. Compete with your past self. In the age of social media, comparison is almost inevitable. Every scroll brings another success story, another perfect body, another luxury car, another announcement of someone winning at life. But the silent poison hidden in all of it, you start comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You look at them and feel like you're falling behind. You think they're ahead of me, they're younger and more successful, they have it figured out. And suddenly, the war within you intensifies. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. There is no competition, except the one between you and the person you were yesterday. The only real contest. You want to feel peace, you want to grow, you want to finally find satisfaction in your progress. Then stop playing a game you can't win. Someone will always have more followers, more money, more recognition. But that's not your race. Your race is internal. Your measure isn't them, it's you, who you were last week. Who you were last year, that's your real competition. Did you handle pressure better than last time? Did you control your temper this time? Did you say no to something that once owned you? Did you show up when the old you would have made an excuse? That's a win, that's progress, that's power. Comparison is a thief, let's be blunt. Comparison kills confidence. It paralyzes action, it distracts you from your path. Why? Because comparison has no finish line. The more you chase someone else's success, the more you feel like you don't measure up. You can have everything you once dreamed of, and still feel like you're not enough because you're measuring your growth by someone else's timeline. But when you shift the focus inward, when you compete with you, everything changes. Suddenly, the process becomes more fulfilling. The growth becomes real, and every tiny victory fuels your momentum. Track the internal wins. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's invisible to the world. You resisted an old habit. You spoke kindly to yourself. You didn't give in to fear. You started again after failing. These internal wins, they matter more than likes, claps, or applause. They mean you're evolving. If you want to measure success, stop looking at someone else's scoreboard. Build your own and fill it with your battles and your breakthroughs. The growth isn't a destination. It's a direction. You don't have to leap forward every day. Sometimes it's a crawl, sometimes it's a stumble. But as long as you're moving forward, you're winning. Ask yourself, am I more patient than I used to be? Am I more disciplined? Am I kinder, more focused, more driven? Am I becoming harder to break? If the answer is yes, even a little, then you're on the right track. Turn jealousy into fuel. We're human. Jealousy happens, but instead of letting it defeat you, use it. Don't envy someone, learn from them. When you see someone doing what you wish you could do, ask, what habits do they have that I can build? What risks did they take that I've been avoiding? What mindset helped them break through? Let their journey inspire action, not self-doubt. Because the truth is, most people you admire were once just like you, doubting themselves, fighting the same inner wars. They didn't win because they were special, they won because they focused inward and kept growing. Celebrate your evolution. One of the greatest things you can do for yourself. Worth is to pause and reflect on how far you've come. The old you would have quit. You didn't. The old you would have lost it. You stayed calm. The old you would have doubted everything. Now you trust your instincts. The old you would have begged for validation. Now you give it to yourself. That's transformation. That's the work. That's the win. Start honoring that. Build a daily audit. Want to track progress like a warrior. Perform a daily self-audit. At the end of each day, ask, what did I do today that the old me wouldn't have? Where did I fall short of who I want to be? What one thing can I improve tomorrow? That's not self-judgment, that's self-awareness. That's how you turn small wins into massive evolution. Because when you reflect consistently, you rise consistently. Stay in your lane. Ever seen a sprinter glance at the competition during a race? They lose speed. Why? Because their focus shifts. That's what comparison does to you. You lose energy, you lose rhythm, you lose sight of your race. So stay in your lane, run hard, keep your eyes forward, and know that the only person you need to beat is the one who told you it wasn't possible. The power of 1% better. You don't need a revolution. You need a small, daily commitment to improvement. 1% better today. 1% stronger, 1% braver, 1% more disciplined. Over time, those tiny wins compound into massive transformation. The world won't see it at first, but you will, and one day everyone else will too. Final words: be your own hero in a world obsessed with comparisons. Becoming your own hero is a rebellion. It's choosing to value your progress over their perfection. It's choosing growth over ego. It's choosing to honor your timeline, your struggle, your comeback. The war within, it's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you're evolving. Not perfectly, not instantly, but relentlessly. So every morning when you look in the mirror, ask just one question: can I be better than the man I was yesterday? Then go win that battle. 4. Master the mind to master the world. If there's one universal truth about success, peace, and power, it's this: you don't conquer the world until you conquer your mind. Your thoughts shape your actions shape your habits, and your habits shape your life. Everything you are, everything you experience, and everything you will ever become begins in one place: your mind. The battlefield of life is first fought within. Before you win the championship, you must win the mindset. Before you build an empire, you must build inner control. Before you influence others, you must influence your own inner narrative. Because here's the truth: if your mind is chaotic, the world will reflect that chaos back to you. If your mind is strong, focused, and calm, you become a force no external storm can shake. Your mind is a weapon or a wound. The mind can be your most powerful ally or your greatest enemy. A weak mind worries endlessly about things it can't control, reacts emotionally to every problem, doubts every opportunity, lives in fear, anxiety, and comparison. A trained mind focuses on what it can control, responds instead of reacting, sees failure as feedback, lives in clarity, intention, and peace. The world isn't getting easier, the pressure is rising, the distractions are multiplying. The challenges are increasing. If you don't learn how to manage your mind, you'll be at the mercy of everything around you. The first step, awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Most people don't even realize their thoughts are controlling them. They think they're just reacting to life, but in reality, they're reacting to the story they've created in their head. That's why the first step to mastering your mind is awareness. Start paying attention. When do you feel triggered, angry, or anxious? What thoughts are looping when you feel stuck? What stories do you tell yourself in tough moments? Are your thoughts empowering you or weakening you? Once you become aware of your patterns, you can begin to interrupt them, reframe the narrative. Your mind loves stories. So tell better ones. When something bad happens, don't ask why me, ask what is this teaching me? When fear creeps in, don't say I'm not ready, say this is how I grow. When you fail, don't say I'm not good enough, say I'm getting stronger. Reframing your thoughts doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means training your mind to see from a position of power, not weakness, because the meaning you give to events shapes your emotional response. And your emotional response shapes what you do next. Change the narrative, change your life. Control the inputs. You cannot expect a powerful mind if you constantly feed it garbage. The music you listen to, the content you consume, the conversations you engage in, the people you surround yourself with, all of it programs your subconscious. Feed your mind with things that make you stronger. Listen to empowering podcasts. Read books that stretch your perspective. Follow people who inspire action, not insecurity. Practice gratitude and mental discipline daily. What you put in is what you get out. Your mind reflects what you feed it, so make sure you're feeding it wisdom, truth, and vision. Stillness builds strength in a noisy world. Silence is a superpower. Meditation, prayer, reflection. These aren't soft habits, they're the armor of warriors. Stillness isn't laziness, it's training. It's learning to sit with your thoughts without being ruled by them. It's finding peace in the storm. It's hearing your own voice again. Even 10 minutes a day can reset your mind, reduce anxiety, and build inner clarity. Train your mind to be still, and when chaos comes, you'll remain grounded while others panic. Visualization. See it before you live it. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. That's why visualization is one of the most powerful tools in mental mastery. Olympians do it. CEO do it. Navy SEALs do it. They see the win before it happens. They rehearse success in their mind, so when the moment comes, their body follows with confidence. Start visualizing your goals with intensity. See yourself walking on that stage. See yourself running that business. See yourself handling adversity with grace. See yourself becoming the version of you who already overcame it all. If you can see it, you can start becoming it. Detach from emotion. Attach to truth. The mind loves to create stories based on emotion. But emotions change. What felt like the end of the world yesterday often becomes meaningless today. That's why a strong mind knows how to detach from emotion and return to truth. Ask yourself, what are the facts here? What do I know for sure? What would my highest self do in this moment? Respond with logic, move with principle. Detach from the storm, move through it with purpose. Discipline the mind, master the world. A disciplined mind doesn't chase every urge. It doesn't believe every thought. It doesn't panic under pressure. It stays calm, focused, and sharp no matter what the external world throws at it. That's why mindset isn't just a cute concept, it's the root of everything. Want better habits? Fix your mindset. Want better relationships? Fix your mindset. Want to lead, perform, grow, heal, build? It all starts up here. Final words: win here, win everywhere. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control your response to it. You can't stop storms. You can't control people. You can't predict every outcome, but you can train your mind to respond with power, clarity, and courage. And when you do, there is no environment, no setback, no betrayal, no loss that can break you, because your power doesn't come from the outside, it was built within. Win the war in your head, and you'll win every battle in your life.